such a time as this.
And welcome back to For Such a Time as This, the place where there is no such thing as a silent witness. As always, I'm with Rick. Rick, how are you?
Good morning, Pastor. Doing great.
We are live streaming because we're going to get back into the live streaming part of the ministry, and we're going to live stream not only here on YouTube. We're going to see if we can live stream. I believe we can live stream on Twitter, well, it's X now, and we're going to live stream on LifeSource, which is around the world. And we're going to start doing that. So we're going to come up with a hard and fast time, maybe 10 o'clock on Tuesday, because we're still trying to work out some bugs with other platforms going live. And then once we do that, we're going to start doing a roundtable again, because we do believe at New Hope Community Church here in Palatine that these are in fact the last days. And so we do a live stream because we want to engage with the audience For Such a Time as This in New Hope Community Church. And we want to hear your feedback and hear your questions, field your questions, and answer them as much as we possibly can. And so again, we are going live, and of course you can listen to it later on, but we want to go live so we can engage with the culture. So Rick, some interesting things have happened.
Yes, President Trump, along with Netanyahu, have come up with a proposed peace plan to bring peace to Israel and the Middle East. As I said, proposed. It's not a done deal, but it's proposed. But this could have huge biblical and prophetical implications if it did go through.
Yes. So we're going to go over, you want to go over first?
Just the overview of the peace plan.
The overview of the proposed peace plan. Oops, hold on, sorry. Technical difficulties. Like I said, we're going live. All right, so here we go. Here's the first one. Key provisions of the plan. Immediate end to the war. If both sides agree, all hostilities will cease immediately. Here's the sticking point. Hostages and prisoner exchange. Hamas must release all hostages, living and deceased, within 48 to 72 hours. In exchange, Israel will release hundreds of Palestinian prisoners, including 250 with life sentences. I don't understand that, Rick.
I don't either.
I don't either. You tell me. Why? These are criminals who have done criminal things.
I don't know why they don't have capital punishment over there. After that massacre?
Yeah, why are they? Why feed them and keep them alive?
Exactly.
No. And this is why we want to do live things, because we want to interact with our audience. Please, if there's anyone who is hostile, I want to say hostile, who disagree with what Israel is doing, please. We are really good about looking at the chat and answering and interacting with the audience. So this is the first one. This is the first part. Here's the second part. Hamas's future. Hamas will have no role in the future governance of Gaza. That goes without saying. Hamas members who agreed to peacefully coexist who peacefully agreed to peacefully coexist would be granted amnesty, while others will be given safe passage out of Gaza. Right. Okay. Again, this is like pie in the sky. This is not going to happen. All Hamas military infrastructure, including tunnels, must be dismantled. Right. Okay. This is, if anything, this is the poison pill. This is not going to work. And I think Israel, who agreed to it, in the United States, they know Israel's not going to agree to. Hamas is not going to agree to this. This is the poison pill. But Israel is putting on a face to the world. The United States is putting on a face to the world, and specifically to Qatar, saying, look, we're willing to make a deal. Hamas is not. You know Hamas is not going to agree to that.
They have made no deals yet.
They're not going to agree to that. And then what country and what terrorist organization is going to agree to self-dissolve?
Hezbollah hasn't.
No.
Iran hasn't.
No, they're not. They're not going to do it, right? Next, we're going to have a transitional governance for those who are just listening and not looking at it. You can always find our visuals on our YouTube channel For Such a Time as This. Look it up. But for those who are just listening, we're actually we actually have the plan on the screen. Transitional government and security in Gaza, an international stabilizing force, will be deployed to Gaza to oversee security. Really, where has this force been all this time? I mean,
It's supposed to be made up of Arab coalitions.
is this something new?
No, they've talked about it.
Really?
Yeah. Egypt's supposed to be a big part of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how big Saudi Arabia's army is, but
Yeah. Okay. For those who are listening live stream, please check in with us. Let us know you're here, and please ask questions. All right. The international force will train a new Palestinian police force.
right.
Okay. An interim government of Palestinian technocrats will be responsible for daily administration. Come on. Do they? Yeah, okay. All right. If you say so. Another thing, path to Palestinian statehood. The plan references a potential pathway to Palestinian statehood, but only after Gaza's redevelopment and Palestinian Authority reforms are complete. Right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Israel's commitment: Israel will not annex or occupy Gaza and will gradually withdraw its forces as the new security forces take over. Now, Rick and I have talked about this before the broadcast. Okay. Israel annexing Gaza is like the United States annexing Texas.
Right.
They don't need to annex Gaza. They already own it.
Right.
I don't, and so this language, and even Trump, whom I disagree with,
Yeah, I
saying
disagree
they can't
with
go back into Gaza. I'm sorry, they've owned Gaza since 1967, right? Since the 6 or 7 day
Right.
war.
And they occupied it. All their people lived
yeah,
there. And
yeah.
in 2005,
Yeah.
they told all their people to get out.
Yeah.
And look what happened.
Yeah, no, I reject the whole concept of Israel will not annex or occupy Gaza. Occupy? Is the United States occupying Texas? Please. Again, that's not going to work. All right, reconstruction and aid. Reconstruction and a surge of humanitarian aid will begin upon acceptance of this agreement. Right. Don't hold your breath on this, all right? A comprehensive economic plan will be launched to rebuild Gaza. Right. Never will happen. And then the last thing, and again, we've used AI. Listen, AI is a tool, okay? And if you use AI for good things, I think good things can be used. It's a super, what is AI? AI is a super search engine. That's all I see it as.
Yeah.
And so AI came up with this complications. Here's what they say: complications and context. Here's the first complication: Netanyahu's balancing act. Netanyahu's far-right coalition partners oppose any pathway to Palestinian statehood, putting his government at risk if he moves forward with the deal. And I have heard that some of his secretaries have openly and publicly said, we are never going to let any Palestinians control Gaza and the West Bank. Not going to happen.
Well, two other parts of their government made a decree that says we will annex Gaza and Judea.
But why are they even using that language?
Well, I know.
Not we have to annex it. We own Gaza, have since 1967.
Yeah, but they kind of
Using their language.
capitulated and gave it back to them.
Exactly.
We own it, but we're going to give you one more chance.
That's why. You know what? That's why I kind of got upset. Not upset, but I disagreed with Christians cheering that the Supreme Court. Remember the whole thing with Maryland, and it said you don't have to send your kids to pornographic classes, and Christians cheered at that. I'm thinking, why are you cheering? As if the Supreme Court had the authority to send your kids to a pornographic class without your permission in the first place. Why are you cheering that? I don't care what the Supreme Court says. And I think this is it. Why are you using the language that we have to annex? No, you already own it.
You own it.
You already own it. But yeah, they're saying flat out, not going to happen. Here's another complication. Complication that Hamas's response. As of September 30th of 2025, Hamas has not officially accepted or rejected the proposal. The group is reportedly reviewing the plan, but has not involved in, I think it's a typo, was not involved in the negotiations that led to it. No kidding. We're going to let you be in the negotiating position to see whether or not you self-dissolve. Not going to happen. And then another complication it pointed out was a shift in U.S. policy. This plan differs from Trump's prior proposal, which called for a takeover of Gaza and the permanent relocation of its residents. It also includes a reference to potential Palestinian statehood, a notable shift in his administration position. Let me help you all out. He hasn't shifted. He knows Hamas and the Palestinians will never be able to meet this. It's not going to happen. It's like saying, Rick, I will give you $1 million, Rick, if you can fly with the Hawks out there. You can go up and you can start flapping your wings and go keep up with the Hawks that's out there flying. I'll give you $1 million. Rick, I don't have to worry about giving you $1 million.
No, you don't.
Because you'll never be able to do it.
Right.
And they'll never be able to do this either. So that's just the nuts, nook and crannies of the proposed peace deal. And why is this so important? Daniel 9:27. Oh, I didn't put it in there. 9:27. Read 9:27 because this is
Daniel 9:27.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "And he shall make he is the Antichrist, and he shall make a strong covenant with many for 1 week."
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't say he'll make a covenant with just Israel.
Correct.
It's got to be with many.
Correct.
Because all these countries are trying to destroy Israel.
Absolutely.
I will make a strong covenant with many for 1 week,
Mm-hmm.
and for half of the week he shall put an end to sacrifice. Then it goes into the abomination of desolation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If this peace proposal did come to fruition and came into effect, this would be the beginning of the 7 years of Daniel's 70th week.
I believe so. And that's what we're looking at. Again, are we 100% sure? No, we're just 99.9%. No, I'm joking. But no, it does seem. And we're called to keep watch. This is very important. And I think things will begin to move heavily. If not, literally find ourselves in the 7-year tribulation. If we're right.
Yeah.
We're right.
Like I said, we've got some videos that say this isn't going to happen. But if this fails and Israel goes in militarily and does their thing, then again there will be another attempt for another peace treaty.
Correct. So we had our spiritual discussion at the beginning, which is a change, but we thought that would set the tone for the rest of the update, because that is the 600-pound gorilla in the room. This peace deal that's on the table now, as they look forward towards peace, because the peace deal will in fact trigger, we believe, as we're reading scripture, will trigger this 70th week of Daniel, the 7-year tribulation, which John labels. All right, here's the first video. Now we switch to updates. Here's the first update. What's the first update here?
Did Israel capitulate on this deal?
Here we go.
So first, dismantling Hamas, demilitarizing Gaza, and returning the hostages. Remember, again, dismantling Hamas, whatever, disarming Hamas, and kicking them out. Demilitarizing Gaza. No one has any attack weapon. And returning all the hostages, 20 that are alive and 28 that are dead. These were the 3 objectives of the war. Of course, Netanyahu is against the Palestinian state. We don't believe that the Palestinian state is anything smart. In fact, we think that's the problem. Gaza was indeed a Palestinian state, and look what it produced. Netanyahu made it very clear, we are not going to allow them to have a state. So, what is no? No Palestinian state, no Hamas in Gaza, no weapon in Gaza in anyone's hands, and denazification of Gaza. They have to learn to live with us, not to die. Okay? All of that. Now, Israel for the past 2 years, and especially in the last few months, is all the way inside the Gaza Strip in the Gideon's chariots and Gideon chariots phase 2 right now, systematically destroying Hamas above and under the ground. 80% of Gaza is uninhabitable. More than 80% of the Gaza City residents fled already down south to the humanitarian zone.
He said one of the objectives is no Palestinian statehood. But it's in the, again, while it's in the proposal, I think Netanyahu's banking on, and he has to sell it to his people. Hamas will never agree to it. And I mean, you won't have to wait years to see whether or not.
No.
Hamas can come out later on today and say, screw you all, we're not going to do it. And then, there you go. There you go. So, it's Amir Safari, that's one of your favorite go-to guys for information. He says Netanyahu has not caved on anything. And the only way you can say that is that Netanyahu is banking on Hamas is going to reject this.
Right.
They're going to
So
reject
the
this.
interesting too, Israel Live TV this morning said that Hamas just came up and said we can't find the hostages. Once Israel went into Gaza, they went everywhere. We don't know where they're at. So
Yeah, right. Okay.
So if the hostages don't come back, then there's no deal.
There's no deal. All right. Here's a second video aimed at what?
Well, again, more information on why Hamas won't agree to it.
Why Hamas will not agree to it. All right, here we go.
The problem is all the Arab countries and Europe and America are now on the side with Israel because Israel said yes. The Emir of Qatar gave his word that Hamas is going to say yes. Now he's sweating, he's schwitzing. Why do you think he is sweating? Because now he has to go to the leadership of Hamas in Qatar that we failed to kill, and he has to tell them, guys, you need to say yes to this. He has to convince them to say yes to this. They cannot say yes to this. If they say yes to this, this is the end of Hamas. Everybody knows that. By the way, how do you know that this is a bad deal for the Palestinians? Not a single Palestinian. I follow tons of channels. All of them are saying this is complete capitulation of Hamas, if they agree. Now, it's true that it's disappointing that the president is not allowing Israel to annex Judea and Samaria, but remember, that was not any of the goals of the war to begin with. Israel is now receiving a chance to not give them a Palestinian state, to get the hostages back, to get Hamas out of Gaza, to demilitarize Gaza, to stay within the security perimeter on the border with Gaza, with Egypt, and all along the border with Israel, and to keep it. And when I said perimeter, I mean we're in their territory. We're inside Gaza. We're not on our territory. All of that is part of this deal.
Okay.
Yep. I would say probably 99% of that will be rejected by Hamas. I don't even know if they'll agree to 1% of that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's a big, big if.
Yeah, it's a big F. It's a really big F. It's a big F. Here's our third update.
Yeah, so Bibi made an apology to Qatar for them trying to kill
Really?
the Hamas leaders in Qatar.
Well, that's what the debate is, right? Did he really
well,
apologize?
It wasn't really an apology. Well, it depends on who you're listening to. But so this is the update on Bibi's apology to Qatar, and
because Israel, for those who don't know, Israel struck Hamas leaders in Qatar
yeah, they
and actually
dropped
killed.
a ballistic missile.
And you know what? I've also heard. I don't know if this is what you and I talked about on a show a few weeks ago, that they actually have U.S.
The largest,
radar system, and the radar system didn't pick it up.
Yeah, it's the largest U.S. military base in the Middle East.
But they didn't strike a U.S. military base. They struck
I know,
something in
but
the
it's
civilian.
there. But the U.S. military has the strongest defense systems in the.
And you think the defense system was monitoring where they struck?
I don't know. It's kind of.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
They probably just turned it off
Yeah.
for a while, but I don't know. So
Yeah, but they struck a civilian or a government facility that was hosting some sort of peace talks with Hamas, and Israel struck
with all their leaders there.
with all their leaders there, hoping to get them. They didn't get them.
But Israel notified them like minutes before the ballistic.
Notified who?
Qatar.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that's what happened. Yeah,
Oops.
they notified Qatar like minutes before.
Oh my goodness.
5 or 10 minutes before the strike, and that's why they all got out.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Okay.
that did happen.
All right, so here's a little update on
Bibi's so-called apology.
the apology.
But he calls Qatar out.
Yeah, here we go.
Look, Netanyahu did not apologize for striking Hamas. Read carefully what he said. He said, we apologize for killing a Qatari security man, and we promise not to do it again. In between the lines, it was, as long as you don't host Hamas. Look, Qatar was and is still traumatized by the strike in Doha. Traumatized. Now, they needed to save face with an Israeli apology, and I know, trust me, it's revolting. It's disgusting. Qatar is the last country anyone should apologize to. But once we did that, we took the sting out of all of this. The Qataris are now, they now must agree to this. They have to. And trust me, I don't mind killing Hamas, destroying Hamas, and apologizing to Qatar every other day. I don't mind that. As long as I remove my enemy, who cares? Everybody knows what we really think about Qatar, and Qatar knows. Netanyahu told them, just so you know, we're against your support of the Muslim Brotherhood. We're against your brainwashing of the people in the universities. We're against your bashing Israel on Al Jazeera. He said that to the Emir of Qatar.
Okay. Apology?
Yeah, that wasn't an apology, but the whole problem with this, President Trump, who wants to make peace around the whole world, loves Qatar. He told Qatar, I should be your PR representative. But someone should tell President Trump that the Muslim Brotherhood's infiltrated throughout our whole government system. They're everywhere.
I don't understand that. Yeah, I don't understand that.
They have sponsored Hamas. They have give them billions. They support terrorism. But for some reason, President Trump wants to be their PR man. So this deal can get done, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
All right. Now the last video is on what's the world's response to everything that's going on right now.
Well, we already kind of know, but yeah, here we go.
And so what we did, we caused the leaders of Hamas to completely be isolated, because now Qatar is back in the game, and now all the Arab countries and all the European countries and America are actually on the side of a proposal that Israel said yes to. And if Hamas will say no, Trump said loud and clear, if Hamas will say no, Bibi, I'm giving you the green light to finish the work, and you know exactly what you need to do. And regarding a Palestinian state, the only time the Palestinian state was mentioned is actually in the negative side when Trump said to the people, Netanyahu is against a Palestinian state, and I totally understand him. And actually called the countries that recognize Palestinian state foolish countries. So what happened is two important things. Palestinian states is not there, not part of the deal. Hamas received basically a notice. If you don't say no, Israel has the green light from America to finish the work. And if they say yes, all of the Israel goals of the war are going to be met. I'm going through all of their channels. They are shocked. They can't believe what just happened to them. The Emir of Qatar is now sweating because he has to, and they are now peeing in their pants because the whole world, literally the whole world, even the Arab countries and the European countries, whom they thought are on their side, are now not on their side.
I don't know if that's true, Rick. I hope it's true, but how can he say that when all these European countries are now recognizing Palestine as a state?
Well, there's a lot of back office talk that publicly they're denouncing Israel, but in the back, when no one's listening, they want this peace deal done, and they want this whole thing to settle down in the Middle East. So
I got you, but you, when Israel has Hamas on the ropes to come out and say you recognize Palestine as a state, that ain't helping in this war.
I understand that. I understand that. So they got to be two-faced too. They got to, they got to throw them some carrots.
Yeah. So
it's not going to happen.
Yeah. So, all right. Interesting times.
Right.
Anything else?
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens
next week or two. I think it's going to go down in flames right away, or if it doesn't go down in flames, it won't take long.
Yeah, but again, the reason why we're doing this is because this is going to be a big deal. If in fact Israel makes peace.
Oh yeah, it'd be a huge deal. But
this has the potential of triggering
the
Revelation
Daniel's 70th week.
Yeah, Daniel's 70th week.
And you know what? Yeah. If this falls apart, and I don't see it, Hamas agreeing to any of this.
Nobody really does. Yeah.
When Israel goes in and cleans out Gaza and Judea and Samaria, then there'll be another peace treaty after that. So. Yeah. So interesting times. Interesting times.
Again, we're going to come up with an official time. Rick and I will come with an official time, but we're going to be consistently live Tuesday mornings, anywhere between 9:30 and 10, and because we want to engage and answer questions and hear from you. Thank you all. And until next time, Rick, thank you.
Thank you, Pastor.
Till next time.
It's always a pleasure.
Till next time. God bless.
For such a time as this,